Alright y'all, what we've got here is we've got a request. We've got a request for a comparison video between a Hults Bruk Aneby and a Hults Bruk Salen. So let's go ahead. Just a few points right off the bat. They're real similar as far as handle length and head size. So they both got full grain leather sheath with a noose to hold the blade guard on. I like that. The Aneby, this is the Aneby. Okay, before I move on any further, this is the Aneby and this is the Salen. And I'll try to keep them in that orientation so you can jump back to that anywhere along the video. All right, but as you can see, the Salen has got maybe just a little bit different. And the sheath could vary over the years. So if you're watching this a couple years down, don't, they could end up swapping that. I don't know. All right, same with the handles. The handles may vary just a tiny bit over time. As you can see, the length here is real similar. There's a little bit of a knob here on the Salen, but that could definitely vary over time as well. So let's go ahead and get some dimensions, and the handle length is really going to be the same on both of these. So I'll go ahead and jump on that. It's like 20 inches and a quarter, 20 inches and a quarter, almost identical. Now, if I'm going to go ahead and hold the Aneby over the top of the Salen, you can kind of get a feeling here. The blade length is real similar. The Salen is like maybe just an eighth of an inch wider, as in top to bottom. But for all practical purposes, they're the same. The head weight, I don't have the exact head weights here. I did throw them on the scale and tried to get an idea for what the head weight was. And obviously that's trying to keep the handle up. And we're looking at right around probably a 2-pound head, maybe just under a 2-pound head for both of these. The total weight comes out on the Aneby to be like 2.65 pounds. And on the Salen 2.8, but that could vary within the handles. But anyways, okay, let me go ahead and hold these up. I'm gonna hold them up and you can kind of see some of the blade shape. I will point out that obviously the Aneby is gonna have a higher price point to it, and it's got the hand forged finish on it. You can still see some of the mill scale, or I say mill scale, but it's really the forging scale. The blade is gonna be ground with a little bit more of that mirror finish. None of them are exactly mirror finish, but you can see the higher polished, whereas this is pretty coarsely ground on the Salen. They both have that convex grind, but there is a little bit more grinding and care taken on the Aneby, and that is pretty sharp there. You can probably shave with that. The Salen, you can just see it's a rougher grind. There is going to be some variation from top to bottom and from side to side. So, obviously a little bit lower price point. It also has like the blasted finish. And the Salen, I've talked sometimes in other videos about the higher and lower lines, and sometimes those get blurred, but that is kind of what we're looking at here. They're both going to be the Swedish steel, so the edge holding ability of the steel is going to be, really good. Don't really have any complaints as far as that goes. So, if you're just looking for a down and dirty axe to maybe, throw in the back of the truck, and you're not necessarily, the Salen's going to be great for that. You're not going to, worry about sacrificing some of that steel quality versus the Aneby. But the Aneby is nice. I mean, no doubt about it. Okay, I'm going to hold up, and you can kind of see some of the blade profile is going to be a little bit different. You can kind of get a feeling right there. Really very similar as far as thickness goes. But again, you can just see a little bit more the blasting on the Salen. This is the Salen, this is the Aneby, just to keep everybody from getting confused. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and also twist these up a tad, and you can look down and see. Now, as far as the fitment, like if we were to look at the fitment here on the head, I don't notice on the lower quality so much, or on the lesser quality, on the lower end on the Hults Bruk, that the axe heads fit a lot worse. You may see just a tiny bit of a gap in here, but then if you look here on this Aneby, there's just a tiny bit. But it's something to always remember, and this is something that I try to always point out, just because there's a gap, if you look in there, if you were to take a little needle and put it in there, just because you can see a gap does not mean the gap goes very far in, because the forging, you're always going to have a little bit of a bevel on there from the forging dies. Sometimes they get them and they fit perfectly, and that's all good, but don't just discredit an axe because there is a little bit of a gap there until you know. And also, I'll point this out, a lot of German axes actually come into us. The Germans do not worry about that nearly as much, and we have very, very few issues with their heads becoming loose anyhow. So, okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else really to point out. Using these two axes, I don't notice a whole lot of difference. Just the feel, the handle shape is real similar. I probably do, and this could just be a little bit mental, I like the Aneby. They both make good bushcrafting axes. You can really choke up on them, and it feels pretty comfortable there. And yet they've got enough heft at, maybe just under the 2-pound head weight, that if you want to do a little bit of chopping, you can. I could talk about the little bit different design here, being that we've got the ears on the Aneby, and that's kind of your classic Swedish European. I know I won't go into that too much because we do each have our different opinion on how that goes, but maybe I'd call this maybe the more classic American, or the classic boys axe styling. But once again, neither one of these are exactly in any one given style. So if you do like the ears, check out the Aneby. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. And if you want to see, I always point this out, this is a requested comparison. If you have a couple axes that you want to be compared, make sure, leave us a message. We'll try to get to it. We're not always speedy, but we'll try to get to it and give you a chance to see two hatchets if we've got them compared, or axes. So we appreciate everybody viewing. We'll see you on the next video. Make sure, if you're interested in either of these axes, we try to keep a pretty decent stock on them. We're welcome to, and before I go, I will point out, you can see the grain orientation on both of these. If there's something specific that you want us to look for, give us a ring. We'll check them out. But make sure, ring the bell, subscribe, and check us out. God bless you, and we'll see you on the next video. Stay safe, y'all. Bye.